Hello, good afternoon. This is Elizabeth Griffin, your indie author from South Philadelphia, and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please take a moment to do so, and definitely share my videos with others. So today I want to make another video in this series that we've been doing on the Romance Writers of America 2020 conference. And this particular video is going to focus on leveraging Photoshop to sell your books, or to utilize the Photoshop in order to market your books. So this was hosted by a particular woman. Her name was Regina Wamba, and she gave 10 tips to help you leverage Photoshop. She is a cover designer as well as a photographer. She's been doing photography for about 10 years. So these are her tips, and I hope you appreciate them. So tip number 1, research. What are you doing? What are you trying to create? Who are you trying to reach? Are you trying to create a Facebook ad? Are you trying to create a Instagram post? Are you trying to create some type of sales or promotional material? What are you trying to create? That's the first thing you need to know. Then 2, you need to have an objective. What do you want to accomplish by creating this particular piece of material or this promotional information? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to generate more sales? Are you trying to inspire someone? Are you trying to create a certain mood or feeling? What are you trying to do? What is your objective in creating this piece of material? And then number 3, you have to come up with a design. And the design, in order for you to do that, you may need to look at other promotional information and come up with a design that you like. And this design may have something to do with color scheme, mood, tone, that type of thing. So you have to come up with a design that you want in order to continue on this path of using Photoshop. Then fourthly, you need to pick color palettes. And a color palette is very intentional and is very important because colors convey moods, they convey feelings. If you pick light colors, pastel colors, that will give the reader a certain feel or the viewer a certain feel. If you pick dark colors, that will convey another message, like black or gray. They'll create a mood just by the colors themselves. So you have to pick a color scheme for your layout. And if you're not familiar with exactly how to do this, you can look at color theory, and they'll give you like color wheels and things like that to kind of give you an idea which colors go together and which ones you might want to stay away from. And then once you have your color scheme or your color palette, you need to decide on a font. And just like colors create moods, fonts also create moods and feelings. So you have to be cautious of the type of fonts that you want to pick. And then in doing so, you don't want to overwhelm your work with a lot of fonts. So you want to maybe pick 1 or 2 that convey what you want. And then once you've done that, you need to consider font palettes, because font palettes, they are similar to color palettes in that you have so many different designs, so many different variations of letterings of the alphabet. So you have to pick the ones that complement your work and the ones that will help you. And then once you've picked your color once you've picked your font palette, you need to move on to the font display. And font displays are like those bold, powerful fonts that draw your attention. And usually when you use these font displays, they're usually for like taglines or maybe the title of your book. But you wouldn't use them for the body of your advertisement or your promotional material, because you want to keep those fonts simple and easy to read. And the premise of everything that Regina mentioned was that keep it simple, and it shouldn't take a lot of time to do this. So once you have your font display, you pick those particular fonts that work best with your material, you'll move on to the next tip that she gave, which is do not stretch your image, do not stretch your text. If it's distorted, it is off-putting and it is distracting, and it takes away from the creativity of your work. So you don't want to stretch your image, you don't want to stretch your text. And I appreciate that, because I've stretched things in the past and my son has corrected me. Mom, you can't do that. That doesn't look appealing. It's bothersome. No, let me help you out. And I appreciate it. He's been guiding me and helping me. He does my covers, as many of you know. So then after that, we'll go to negative space. And I thought this was interesting. Negative space she described as being that space on, let's say, your cover of your book, or on a piece of advertisement, or maybe a bookmarker, where it looks like it's empty space, but it's not. It could be space that has like a tagline in the center, and the space around the tagline draws emphasis on the tagline itself. Whether saying, you don't want to be alone this weekend. If that's a tagline and then there's nothing around it but color, like a colored background, that draws your attention to the text, and that draws you into whatever piece of advertisement or material that you're promoting or you're putting out there for the public. So empty space is a good thing. I'm sorry. Pardon me. Negative space is a good thing. And it's not the same as empty space. And then we go to effects, and she mentioned them as being word art. And in the past, people use word art a lot. And she was saying, stay away from word art, stay away from different gradients of like text or coloring, things like that. That is something in the past, and you want to leave that alone. And then her final tip was stock photos. And I can truly appreciate this. Stock photos are those photos that tell a story. Those are the photos that give a viewer an idea of what your book is about. And so she was saying, pick the stock photos carefully and have them tell a story, and pick the ones that you don't have to edit a lot. The ones that you can pretty much upload and just put a couple, like your title in there, and you can play around with the branding and the color tones and things like that. But you want to keep your stock photos simple. You want it to be something that draws the viewer to your product, because you only have a certain amount of time to draw them in. So you want artwork that conveys what your book is about, and it will draw them in, and it will tell a story. So as I said, I appreciate a lot of her information. It was very useful and helpful. I hope you in turn will appreciate it as well. And check her out. Google her name, check her out, and see what information you can find on her. And as always, thank you for coming back to my channel. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Love, peace, joy, and happiness, and enjoy your Sunday. Bye-bye.